try to clarify what you've just told the court. As P.C. Milsom ran out of the alleyway, you clearly saw the defendant rabbit punch him from behind on the back of the neck.
I did.
And what happened then?
The policeman went down. I don't think he even saw the man who hit him.
But that was not the end of the attack.
No, the defendant kept kicking the police officer in the head, the stomach, kicking him, punching him. He was like a madman. Then he turned round and yanked this metal post out of the ground.
And in what position was P.C. Milson when you saw his attacker yank the metal fence post out of the ground?
He was lying on the ground, groaning. As I say, he'd already been badly beaten up. He was just lying there.
Lying on the ground and badly beaten up. Mr. Ashford, did P.C. Milsom get up at this point to give chase? Or take any sort of action against his attacker?
Oh, he had no chance. By the amount he was bleeding, I thought he might be dying, to tell you the truth. He was in a terrible mess, terrible.
And could you please tell the court, Mr. Ashford, exactly what you saw next?
He turned towards me and took a swipe at me with a post. So I backed away. There's no way I could take him on. I'd already seen what he was capable of. Then he lifted the pole above his head and smashed it down on P.C. Milsom's legs. It was indescribable.
Must have been an extremely frightening and harrowing experience. But if you could continue, Mr. Ashford, and tell the court what you saw next.
Yeah. He flung down the post as he was about to run away. Then he looked at me, and he just grinned.
Grinned?
Yeah.
That came as no surprise to me, mate. I knew they never had nothing on me, so there you go. I'll tell you what, though, mate, you can write this down. Yeah. British justice is the best in the world.
Yeah!
Oh. Cheers, mate.
Thanks a million, Sergeant Roach.
I'm sorry, Mr. Ashford, I didn't expect it.
Well, I'm the mug who stuck his neck out and got up on the stand, didn't I? And all because you said Slater would be going down. He is a dangerous man. And guess whose guts he's going to be after next?
How'd it go?
In a word,
You're joking. What went wrong? Thought you had him stuck.
our eyewitness was standing 6 feet away, and the prat of a judge tells the CPS that it would be too dangerous to convict on the strength of what he saw. What sort of justice is that supposed to be?
The CPS had to withdraw. The judge would have had to have directed the jury to return a not guilty verdict. There wasn't enough supporting evidence. But we knew this might happen. So, back to business, Dad.
Under the circumstances, sir, I'd like to get in touch with Crown Prosecution and check that they haven't screwed up the evidence in Slater's GBH against Tony Hassan.
Why should they have screwed it up? It's not their fault that Slater gone off.
Slater has got away with yet another assault. Now, this time he's gone and done it again on Tony Hassan whilst out on bail, which he should not have been granted in the first place. What does he have to do, kill someone?
We did object to bail, Ted.
And what difference did it make, sir? I just want to make sure that when we get Slater into court next time, we get him on the ropes and we put him down for good.
You have new evidence against David Slater?
No.
Pity.
You having some problem with the prosecution?
Well, as in the assault against P.C. Milsom, your evidence against David Slater for allegedly assaulting Tony Hassan relies heavily on a single eyewitness. It's a bit on the thin side.
I'm sorry? On the thin side?
Basically, your eyewitness is knocking on... No, he actually is 70. He was driving past the scene, and it was nighttime.
So what you're saying, Sergeant Roach, is that my brother's got a scarred face, his ribs are broken, his guts were kicked in, and you're telling us that Slater didn't do it?
Calm down, Ray. Let's just hear him out before you go flying off the handle.
I'm not saying that Slater didn't do it. As far as I'm concerned, he's guilty. What I am saying is that as things stand, we might have a bit of trouble getting the case to court and proving it.
So he might not even have to stand trial. I mean, the whole thing would just be forgotten.
Not if I've got anything to do with it.
Ooh. Can I help you?
Yeah, tell old Roach I want a word with him.
I suppose his days are numbered. What, you mean he's going to snuff it?
Don't be stupid, Reg. It means you'll get chucked out of the job.
Not like the old days, is it? They used to look after you then, give you a cushy desk job or something.
Oh, I'll get criminal injuries and a pension.
Reduced pension. Might pick up a DAC's commendation if he's lucky, as he'd chuck his ass out the back door.
Steve.
All right, mate. How's it going? Well?
Well, the thing is, Sergeant Roach, I've been speaking to my brief.
So?
So he tells me that when I was brought in for so-called attacking that PC Milsom, I ought to seriously think about suing you lot for unlawful arrest.
You gotta be off your flippin' trolley, mate. Every inch of you smells of guilt.
Oh, does it? I better change my deodorant then, haven't I?
Don't you get smart with me, you little toe rag. Make my day.
Can I have a word, Ted, when you've finished?
Sir?
Temper, Sergeant Roach. Gonna get a right old telling off now, aren't you?
I'm gonna make sure that you get sent down for that assault on Tony Hassan. That's a promise.
You ain't got no evidence. Just some blind old get in a car. Won't be sending me down, mate. I'll put money on it. Anyway, I better be going, Sergeant. Got to organise the old celebration drink up, you know what I mean? Come along about 7:30, Duke of Marlborough, public bar. Should be a bit of a laugh. Oh, invite your mate if you like. He can get legless. Oh, dear.
So why am I here, Mr. Roach?
You don't mind, do you, Nick?
I'm not wired, if that's what you think.
Yeah, well, better safe than sorry, eh? Come on, let's take a stroll.
Is this going to take long? Only I've got a wife and kid to pick up and a wine bar to run. Rushing out at a moment's notice like this.
Respectability, eh, Mick? You still remember the good old days, though, don't you? We were on different sides of the fence, but we had a sort of respect for each other, sort of code of honor. Yeah, there was justice in those days.
Yeah, well, they're long forgotten, Mr. Roach.
Yeah, these are difficult times, Mick. It's us now. The couples who are on trial, while the guilty men go free.
Come on, Mr. Roach. I don't know what you're leading up to, but I don't want to get involved in anything.
You remember the Cranley Street job, Mick?
That was 11 years ago.
You've built yourself a nice little life since then, haven't you? While your two fellow blaggers languished in Parkhurst. 9 years for armed robbery? Because you and me did a deal. Their names for your freedom. No one was interested in sending down a wheelman in those days, and now I need a favor.
For God's sake, Mr. Roach, I can't get involved. I can't.
Now, you listen here, Mick. If your old chums ever got wind of who grassed them up, I don't think I need to tell you what would happen to that person or their family. I'm telling you, I need a favor.
Yeah, but if I did help you, how do I know you won't just keep coming back and using me?
After you've done this, Mick, you'll have enough on me to see me hung, drawn, and quartered. And believe me, when this is over, I wouldn't come within 10 miles of you.
What would I have to do?
I want you to be an eyewitness. I want you to say that you saw this tow rag assault an Asian man. He's just been acquitted of crippling one of our young PCs. Now, I want you to walk into the nick.
What nick?
Any nick, it doesn't matter. Eventually, you'll be dealt with by officers at the investigating station, Sun Hill. I want you to say that you saw him attack the Asian man. And it was playing on your conscience and you felt that you had to come forward.
Can I keep this?
Hardly. At some point, you're going to have to pick Slater out at an ID parade.
It's too dodgy, Mr. Roach. I'm a changed man.
Believe me, Mick, it'll be a cinch. And so that there's no mistake in the ID, I want you to eyeball him first.
Ow!
There's a pub in Sun Hill called the Duke of Marlborough. Have yourself a quiet evening there with a paper and a pint. He'll be in the public bar. Drinks are on me.
On as we head back. I'm sorry we couldn't accommodate you upstairs, Nick. Unfortunately, the architects didn't think to install a lift.
I don't suppose they were expecting to cater for coppers in wheelchairs, sir.
No. So, what did the doctor say?
Well, I don't think I'll be pounding the beat again, sir, if that's what you mean.
Look, Nick, if this does mean an end to your active police career, I hope you realize that we won't be turning our backs on you. I mean, there are other jobs.
Yeah. And with respect, sir, if you look outside in the big wide world, there are 3 million people looking for one. Only difference is they can walk up and downstairs.
Can I have a word, Sarge?
Oh, yes, sir, of course.
So, where have you been all afternoon?
Out taking statements, sir.
Yeah, that's what D.I. Burnside told me. So whose statements are these?
A couple of mugging victims. Took some time.
And they couldn't come here to give the statements?
Oh, both old dears, sir. They were frightened to set foot outside their homes.
Right.
And after that, I was at the CPS.
Yeah, well, I did want to talk to you about that, but then you went AWOL. So what's the score on the Hassan case?
Not very good, sir. They say evidence is thin.
Well, that's not the shock of the century, is it? And what was David Slater doing here earlier on?
He came to rub my nose in it. In fact, all our noses. He's threatening to take out an action for unlawful arrest.
And you politely tell him to go and take a running jump?
In so many words, sir, yes.
Look, Ted, just take it easy, will you? We put him in court, the system lets him go. It's not a professional failure on our part. Don't get involved in playing games with Dave Slater.
Of course not, sir.
So what's happened? Is there something new?
I'm afraid not. I was just passing, so I thought I'd pop in and see if you had any thoughts about what I said earlier.
Not really. I've already told you everything I remember.
Oh, well.
What do you mean? Oh, well.
We're doing our best, Mr. Hassan.
How can you just stand there and say that, eh? Look! Have a good look at him. My brother's been scarred for life and nobody seems to give a damn about it.
I said we were doing our best.
Well, if this is your best, Sergeant, then maybe we ought to do something about Slater. I'll tell you, if we get our hands on him, we'll kill him.
Ray, just shut it, eh?
For your information, Mr. Hassan, I'm as angry about this as you are.
Yeah?
Yeah. Now, Slater's laughing at us, all of us. Tony's not the first one to suffer at his hands. And Slater will be down the Duke of Marlborough tonight, celebrating with his friends having crippled one of my colleagues. So please don't tell me that I don't care. I'd like to see Slater nailed to the wall as much as anyone. But the problem is, I'm just a copper. I can't do a damn thing about it.
DC Morgan.
Can I have a word, son?
Yes, sir.
Sarge, it's for you. Someone called Mick. Wouldn't give me his last name. Shall I ask him what it's about?
I'll take the call, Ted. I can wait.
What shall I tell him?
Tell him I've got his number. I'll call him back later.
You shut the door. There was no need to put off the phone call. I'd have waited. Unless there was something you didn't want me to hear.
It was just a mechanic, sir, phoning about my car.
Oh, you having trouble, are you?
No, not really. Just a routine check.
All right.
Look, sir, what is all this suspicion? I can't even take my car to the garage without being interrogated?
All right, Ted, let's start again, shall we? I've got a sneaking suspicion that something's going down.
I haven't got the faintest idea what you're talking about, sir.
Look, Ted, you're a good officer. You've been in this job over 20 years. You're a mainstay of the Sunhill CID. So what is it that's bugging you?
Nothing's bugging me.
It's not Slater.
He annoys me, yes.
Look, Ted, everyone in this station and every copper up and down the country gets the hump about what happens to officers like Nick Milsom. But we have to live with it. You've seen it all before.
Yes, sir. On more occasions than I care to remember.
So forget Slater.
He should have been put behind bars.
That's as may be. But in this job, we can't afford to let our hearts rule our heads. If we did, we'd all end up going over the edge.
Night, Ted.
Being an all-nighter, Ted?
Glued to the chair, Gov.
Yeah?
Well, why don't you call it a day? You're not on overtime. Knock it on the head and come and have some lubrication.
Well, thanks all the same, Frank, but I better get these reports done. Otherwise, I'll have the Fuhrer on my back again.
All right. I'll leave you to it then.
Good night, Gov.
See ya.
Mick, it's Ted Roach. What the hell were you doing calling me at the Nick? Now look, we made an agreement and I'm telling you, you blow me out on this and I will do exactly what I said. So you make sure that you're in the Duke of Marlborough tonight. Oh, and Mick, don't let me down now, eh?
No rest for the wicked, eh, Ted?
No, sir.
Well, I'll bid you good night. You'll have those finished by tomorrow morning, will you?
Oh, no problem, sir. I won't rest until I've crossed every T and dotted every I.
All right. Good night.
Good night, sir.
All right, Ted? And Slater wriggled off the hook again.
So?
So, we're disappointed. We thought you were going to get a result this time.
Oh, did you? Well, don't whine at me, Bob. Talk to the judge about it.
I'm not whining. We're just all disappointed, that's all.
Yeah, well, who isn't? Oh, by the way, if you're interested, Slater will be down to Duke of Marlborough tonight having a beano with his mates. So you might want to keep their eyes peeled.
Right, Ted. Will do.
Scotch, please, mate. I'll make the last one.
Who's the guy? £2.60, please, mate.
Governor. Yes. Get me, Nigel.
160, please. Cheers.
2 cakes, please. White pints of soup.
5 chasers.
It's a celebration.
All right. I'm an hour, I've got to have a slag. I ain't spudding. Spudding.
Wait, where are you going? Where do you think I'm going?
Just leave it.
What do you mean, just leave it?
Thought I'd take you up on your offer.
What are you on about?
You said you were going to buy me a drink.
You got to be joking, mate. Buy you a drink?
What about doing a deal instead?
I wouldn't do a deal with a filth even if my mother's life depended on it.
How about your own life? Come with me to Sun Hill and give me a confession that you assaulted Mr. Hassan.
Or what? What you gonna do? Hit me? Come on, son, have a go.
Nah, I'm not going to hit you, David.
Don't call me David. Pig.
I'll put in a good word for you with the Crown prosecution.
You do what you like, mate.
Because someone came forward, David. Someone who heard you bragging about your attack on Mr. Hassan. And he's going to testify against you in court.
Now, you know I'm doing you for unlawful arrest. You know, I think I'll add police harassment to that list. Get stuffed.
Don't you want to know who's going to testify against you?
Now, who'd be stupid enough to stand up and say that against me, eh?
Someone you might have said too much in front of.
No, it's a load of bull, mate.
Someone you know. Someone you hang around with, perhaps.
I don't think so.
Someone who might like to see you put out of the way so he could step into your shoes. You think about it, David.
Yeah, and you think about lawsuits, an old pig.
Sierra Oscar from Sierra Oscar 2.
Go ahead.
Duke of Marlborough, Sarge. No sign of any trouble. It's as quiet as a grave.
Right, everyone want a drink? Everyone? 5 pints, please. Oi, oi, Steve. Just drop it to the pint. What are you looking at?
Dunno, there's no label on it.
Push off, mate.
Do you know me? Maybe you recognize my brother.
No, who's he? Imran Khan?
You don't recognize the scar?
No, I've told you boys, push off, all right? I'm gonna tell you again. Right, forget it.
Wait. Come on, lads. I don't want any trouble in here.
No bother here, mate.
Right, come on, mate. Let's go and sit down. Leave it.
No.
Come on, sit down! Now. Just leave it. Leave it.
Cheers, mate. Keep the change.
Who's not, Dave?
Who's moved the balls? Hey? Who moved the balls? Don't prat around when you're playing with me, all right?
It's just a laugh, Dave.
Yeah? I don't see the joke. Anyone see the joke, eh? See, we don't think you're very funny, Nigel, Mr. Motor Mouth.
It was just a joke, all right?
Yeah? What other jokes you been telling then, Nigel?
I don't know what you're on about.
No? The filth. You talking to the filth! That's what I'm on about, my son. You try to grass me up.
I don't know what you're on about.
No? Well, this is what I'm on about.
Don't bother, mate. Dial 999, ambulance and police. All right.
Hey! Slater! Slater!
David Slater, I'm arresting you for assault. You don't have to say anything unless you wish to do so, but anything you do say may be given in evidence. Do you understand? I'll take that as a yes. Did everyone see what happened?
Yeah.
Right, you stay exactly where you are. I'll need you all as witnesses.
Which?
Yeah.
Molly? Chase, in here. Shut the door. So what are you playing at?
I'm sorry, sir?
Look, don't get smart with me, Ted. Just what the hell were you up to last night?
Popped out for a drink.
Some drink. Tony Hassan, his brother, some ex-con called Mick Crombie, just happened to be there to help you nick Dave Slater, did they? Well, can you explain how they came to be there?
Coincidence?
Now, you listen up, Ted. I don't know what you were trying to fix up last night, but as a result, there's another lad lying in hospital. Now, I can't prove anything against you, not even a disciplinary offence. But by hell, you've marked your card with me.
I nicked Slater fair and square, sir, in front of a pub full of witnesses. Now, he's not walking away from this one unscathed.
You're right about that, Ted. But maybe the reputation of the CID round here isn't unscathed either. But I don't suppose that entered your head, did it? Our job is to nick villains, but we nick them straight, by the book, or not at all.
A major disagreement causes problems in London's burning, coming up next this evening.